Amy and I are going to talk to you today about pragmatics in second language acquisition. Basically, pragmatics is the study of communicative action and in its sociocultural context. Communicative action includes not only speech acts such as requesting, greeting, and so on, but also participation in conversation, engaging in different types of discourse, and sustaining interaction in complex speech events. And this is a quote from Gabriel Casper, who's sort of a front runner in the study of pragmatics. Pragmatics includes making and interpreting requests, responding to compliments or apologies, and recognizing humor and managing conversations. So it's more of the practicalities of getting your message across in an acceptable, polite way. Some examples of pragmatics include, would you like some more? Could you please help me? Do you mind? Would it be okay? Things like, could I possibly do this? And I would rather do that. Also includes things like, I'm sorry, and how we apologize. Or please excuse me if something is an accident. Or you want to get by in a crowd. Saying excuse me is an example of pragmatics. There were 5 stages of development listed in our book. We have stage 1 is pre-basic, so it's very, very simple 1 or 2 word phrases. Stage 2, formulaic, unanalyzed formulas, something that somebody has heard like I'm sorry or excuse me. Stage 3 is unpacking, using more formulas and starting to be a little bit more indirect in your request or response. Stage 4 is pragmatic expansion, so more use of mitigation and a little bit more complex syntax. And then stage 5, fine-tuning request of force to vary your request based on your goal of the conversation or who you're talking to, what the context is. Research that I found by Leach and Thomas divided pragmatics into 2 sections, pragma-linguistics and socio-pragmatics. Pragma-linguistics is pragmatic strategies on how to convey relational or interpersonal meanings. So like how direct or indirect you are with someone, or how you intensify or soften your communication based on who you're talking to. Whereas socio-pragmatics is the social perceptions underlying the interpretation or performance of communication. This is how we use social distance, also how social power comes into play when we're in conversation, the degree of imposition, convergence or divergence with the L2 culture. And this speaks to whether or not a person learning another language feels a part of the community of the language that they're learning, or maybe has some distance from the community that they're living in or that they're trying to use the language of. And so they both come into play when talking about pragmatics and how we use them. So further, Casper and Schmidt found that some pragmatic principles are universal, which can help a learner develop interlanguage pragmatics, which kind of helps everyone communicate at a sort of universal level of understanding. However, learners may not choose to transfer some universal pragmatics, while at the same time over-transferring strategies which are not universal. And it really depends on those sociolinguistic factors of the community and the feeling of social distance or a feeling of social power and what's at play. Additionally, there was a study by Casper and Rose that showed that pragmatics can be successfully learned in a classroom setting if it is taught via explicit instruction. And in addition to this, another study by Rose demonstrated the effectiveness of metapragmatics in L2 classrooms. So metapragmatics is both the explicit teaching of pragmatic strategies and examples, and ensuring that students notice pragmatic features of the target language. So more students learn more and retain more over time when pragmatic features are taught purposefully and practiced in the L2 classroom. And interestingly, in this study, Rose asserted that studies pertaining to pragmatics in the classroom validate Schmidt's noticing hypothesis. That is, if students are noticing what they are learning, they're more likely to remember it, use it, retain it over time. And now Amy will take over and talk about more of the practical aspects of pragmatics and how it applies in the classroom when we're teaching English language learners. Thanks.